right here.
Yes. Is there a printed list of all the foods that are allowed under the Michigan Cottage Industry Act?
Yes, there is, and it's on that MGARD website.
What's the website again?
The www.michigan.gov/MDARD, and it's a whole section related to cottage food.
Or you can just search for Michigan Department of Agriculture online,
Yes.
and you'll be able to find that website. All right, we had another one over in this section, right here.
I think this partially answered, she did answer my question in that, I was gonna ask, my question was, what was the difference between state, city, and county licensing? And I think you just stated that. That was my question.
Can I just add something real quick? So I just want to ground you all in reality, right, real quick. To get licensed by the state, depending upon what you are producing as a liquor wholesale processor, and this is information that's on the website. I've licensed about 13 entrepreneurs, right? $79 if you're limited, right? $145 if you are a full processor. The reality is, in the city of Detroit, if you are a caterer, it's going to cost you about $1,400 to get licensed. All right, that's the reality. That's why people are changing their business models, and that's why they want to go with the state, is because of cost.
However, for those of you who are getting started and want to be caterers, I don't want that to dissuade you. Because to be very honest, and I know we're not talking about business opportunity or market opportunity, but there are a lot of people trying to make exactly the same products right now in Detroit. And I don't want you guys to leave this panel thinking just because it's cheaper in the short run, I want to make the same, products as everybody else. So just keep that in mind. I know that it can be scary and daunting, but there are resources out there to help you, and you should follow through with the thing that you want to create or make. So did we get your question? Was that?
Yes, I think where I'm really confused at is in whatever your product is, that's going to determine who you're licensed by.
Yes.
And that's where I was confused, and you answered the thing.
That's correct. And let me give a specific example of what DaVita means when people are changing their business model. So in Food Lab, we have somebody who makes tacos. He does taco catering. And when he learned about the difference between the licensing by the city and licensing by the state, he was like, well, maybe I'll just make prepackaged bean burritos instead of doing taco catering, which he had been, doing fresh made meats and stuff, and then he wants to now switch his whole business to a different thing because of the difficulty in licensing. So that's an example of what she means. So I think we've had 2 or 3 more back here.
Yes. My question is for Micah. How long is the process for the testing of your product once I would come to you?
So Michigan State tests for pH and water activity. So there's some tests we don't do. We don't do shelf life tests. Some of the other tests we aren't able to do that I can point you in the right directions to. If you're looking for water activity or pH tests, it typically takes about 3 to 4 weeks.
Weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. And one more question over here.
Okay, my question probably was regarding some of the conferences. Because a lot of the entrepreneurs don't have a lot of money to go for training, are there scholarships available?
So Food Lab has provided scholarships in the past for members to go to the Making It in Michigan conference and some other similar
One in
conferences.
Lansing?
Yeah, the one in Lansing. And a lot of times that just depends on whether we're able to get a sponsorship for it.
Okay, so do you have a sponsorship yet for the one
Not
upcoming?
yet.
Okay.
Not yet this year. Working on it.
Quick comment on education. Ross for Us, which is in Detroit, has free programs about developing a business plan and business planning. There are a number of other organizations that will offer at no charge good, solid business education. May not be specifically for foods, but it's that background that you're looking for.
Yep, absolutely. Well, so to end off, let's end how we began. Can I get a Food Lab holla? One more, Food Lab holla! Wait, no. Try again. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Can I get a Food Lab holla? All right, thank you. Can we have a round of applause for
Okay, we're going to get started with the next part of the program. We're going to get started. started with the next part of the program. Let me ask a question as we get started with our program. So this part of the program is just going to be me and Linda Kay kind of talking about her business, which is Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha. And so one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I called out in this program is talking about some of the great things that are happening here in the city of Detroit as it relates to our food scene. And so this conversation is all going to be about tradition and cultural identity. So by show of hands, I want to see how many folks have a recipe that has been in their family for years, that grandma's recipe or grandpa's recipe. Okay? And so this conversation is really about preserving tradition, cultural identity, and how Linda was able to do that in the form of what we call, or what she called, Mrs. Pruitt Gourmet Cha-Cha, that we call Chow Chow in the South. And so Linda, if you would for a moment, can you tell us a little bit about the recipe, where it came from, how it originated?
I'd like to say thank you so much for having me. And I always want to say good things about Detroit. There's some great things here in the city of Detroit. Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha is a great thing. So Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha is a family recipe.
You okay? You don't got to
dating back to the early 1800s in the backwoods of South Carolina. So we've got a rich, rich family history. And our ancestors were slaves. When the slaves were not in the fields picking cotton, and when they were in the fields gathering up the harvest for the master, they were allowed to gather the scraps. The scraps were cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, onions, and herbs. What came out of that was cha-chow. Chow-chow. Means nothing ever wasted. They didn't waste anything back then. And to this day, our family is still making cha-cha. I know that you have grandmothers that have said that made cha-cha. So in our family, we've got this awesome history of cha-cha, and we make it all the time. So Mom decided in 2010 to make Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha Salsa. Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha Salsa started at when I signed up at Michigan State University. Oh my God. They were a wealth of knowledge in addition to helping me and guiding me with my product. So I had an advisor, and my advisor assisted me with the labeling, the nutritional facts. Thank God for Diane Novak. She's a nutritionist at Michigan State University. They helped me with the GS1, the barcode. Wow, that was huge. And they helped me. I had issues with certified commercial kitchen for a long time. So when I went to Michigan State University, I took several classes because my product is acidified. I wasn't about to make anybody sick. So it was very, very important to me to be educated. I mean, okay. It was very, very important to me to gain as much information and education as possible. So I was not rushed to get into it at all. I took my time to learn each and every step of the way. So at Michigan State University, I took several classes. We became, we got our CertSafe credential at that, and I learned about the acidified process, the water processing of how to make that product safe so nobody would get sick. That was very, very important to me. So I took my time, and over the years, I did decide to, with my advisor, we went back and forth trying to find a certified commercial kitchen for almost a year and a half. I was going back and forth trying to find it. He referred me to someplace in Bad Axe, Michigan, and we were trying to find someplace here in Detroit. So it was a while to decide which route to go. After a year and a half, we decided to, talking to several lawyers, go with a manufacturing company. So a manufacturing company, also known as a co-packer, so what they'll do is prepare the product, package it, and label it. And so after talking to several lawyers, My family decided to, I mean, it took a while. It took a while to give up that recipe. I mean, we signed a contract where they will prepare the product exactly the way we, like the recipe calls for. So, it's at a manufacturer's now, and the manufacturer prepares it, packages it, like it. And so, I don't have to worry about it's labor intensive, so we don't have to make it a certified commercial.
So, Linda, you talked about the authenticity of your recipe. You talked about the time that it took you to get started because you wanted to do it correctly, right? You didn't want to harm anybody.
Exactly.
You utilized the MSU Product Center as a resource. When you first started, Linda, and if you have not tried Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha, there are some bottles that are sitting on the counter. But when you first started, did you have that amazing packaging that you have now?
No,
the gorgeous
no.
labels?
No.
Did you wait for the fantastic
So,
logo? I mean, did you have all that?
It's taken me all this time because it costs, everything costs. So a graphic artist, I had to hire one, and we went back and forth with how we wanted it presented. So, yeah.
So when you first started, what was your packaging looking like?
Just the name, it's Gourmet Cha-Cha.
Okay.
And we were gonna have like some vegetables and fruit on it, but we wanted to do a professional look.
So one of the things that I know, Linda, folks are always inquiring about when they decide to create a brand, right? To make it look professional and hire a graphic designer. A lot of folks don't have that money right off the bat. So my question is, has it paid off? Has that professional look, that packaging, that label, has it paid off?
Most definitely.
What retailers are you in now?
Most definitely. So we're at Eastern Market on Tuesdays 9 to 5. I'm sorry, 9 to 3. We're at Goodwill's on Cass and Willis. We're at Honeybee Market in Southwest Detroit. We're at Parker Street Market in West Village. And just last Friday, I got an account with the Organic Vitamin Market at 9 Mile in Ferndale. Oh, yeah. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so one of the things that we talked about, Linda, on the panel was understanding your
Oh, I'm
cost.
sorry, Germax.
Oh, and Germax,
too.
yeah. One of the things that we talked about was understanding your cost in terms of how much it costs for you to make your product. How much does Mrs. Pruitt's Gourmet Cha-Cha retail for?
So we sell it for $7 a jar. However, Germax sells it for $8.49 a jar. And Goodwill's is $5.99 a jar.
So do you have a clear understanding in terms of how much it costs you, Linda, to make it, and then how much you wholesale it for? Because then the retailer has to mark it up, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
So to prepare, packaging, and label it, there's a cost that I pay, and then we just market it up to sell it to the consumer, either retail or wholesale.
So you mentioned, Linda, that MSU Product Center has been a lifesaver, right? They are a fantastic resource. Jess talked a little bit through the panel about Food Lab Detroit and the kind of coalition, I would say, of small businesses that are members of Food Lab. How has it been being a member of an organization where you have a lot of small food businesses as a part of that organization, the connection piece?
So Jessica Daniels, I gotta hand it to her. She's awesome. She is Food Lab, and you're also Food Lab. So you're better.
Jess is the founder of Food Lab, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying all that to say that Food Lab was awesome. They assisted me with, just the networking with other entrepreneurs starting their own businesses. The small business plan, oh my God, the business plan. The business plan is always, you're always updating it. I think I've got it down to a fine-tooth comb now after like years of developing the business plan going over and over and again. So, but the business plan is key. That executive summary, the vision, the mission statement, the financials. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. You gotta know what you're doing in terms of money. So the business plan was wonderful. I got a lot of